My next guest is the director of a new documentary making its world premiere at the Byron Bay Film Festival next week. The documentary is called Commonwealth. Here's a sneak peek.
My name is Kane Guiglielmi. I live in a rural part of Australia on a small farm. And being the annoying overthinker that I am, I've been asking myself why? Why aren't we happy? I look around and, well, can't help but think that society as a whole isn't. So I called some mates and grabbed a camera and we hit the road.
What unaffordable housing is doing to kids is awful. It's making them feel inadequate because they can't buy a house, and it's left them feeling mentally deranged because they feel like they've done something wrong. They haven't.
Joining me now is director Kane Guiglielmi. Kane, your documentary has received some high praise, including from President Obama's production company, and is being considered for an AACTA. What inspired you to make Commonwealth?
Well, Rita, I think it started really from a place of frustration. Off the back of COVID, I guess I came away thinking with a bit of a newfound perspective on how the world functions. And it upset me, quite frankly, and it made me very concerned for the future of my family, for my kids and for others. But I felt completely powerless on what to do. I'm one guy, I grew up in Western Sydney, you know, what could I possibly do? And well, I thought, well, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I've only done network TV and movies. Maybe I could do a documentary to explore what plausible alternatives exist to the system in which we live in.
Well, let's talk about those plausible alternatives. You travelled to 8 different countries and looked at alternative economic and political models. What did you find? Honestly, I found a bit of hope, because coming out of COVID, I guess I had a little bit of a bleak outlook for the future. Particularly being in Australia, we were particularly COVID crazy, weren't we?
Yeah, and my family, we experienced it both in Italy. We were living in Italy during 2020, and then we came back thinking we were going to come back to some kind of normality here, and we went through it all again. And so I guess going on this journey, meeting and interviewing, you know, so many different people of different lines of thinking, different backgrounds, religions, and ideologies, I guess one of the things that dawned on me is that we do, as humans, have a lot in common. And I think that sometimes media have played a role in creating a little bit more division and amplifying things that, you know, if you actually sit down and have a heart-to-heart conversation with someone, more often than not, I believe that you find some common humanity amongst each other. And that was a huge takeaway from me. In terms of the specific solutions and alternatives, I think I'm going to let people see the film, because otherwise you've got no reason to see it.
Exactly. You don't give it away. Normally with documentaries you don't have that issue. There's no twist, but you certainly invested a great deal of time and money in this. In the clip we showed, we're talking about the struggles young people face trying to buy property, and it's a really a big issue in this country. As we know, housing affordability is a huge problem. What do you think are the long-term impacts of that on if you've got a generation who really don't have hopes of owning a property?
Well, if nothing changes, the level of despair will only increase, and that's a sad reality. Something has to change, and that's some of the things that we explore in the film. I find it, you know, just recently, just in the past week, our Prime Minister put a clip on social media, a 10-second clip, trying to sell 5% mortgages to young people, saying 5% deposits for first home buyers, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
That's a quote. All you need to know. You know, it's like the guy is selling, and he thinks that he's selling USB chargers for JB Hi-Fi in a 10-second clip, you know, but he's selling, you know, a lifetime of slavery to the banks, and that's not okay.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of like a second-hand car salesman technique, isn't it? That's all you need to know. Sign up, 5%, and
as Tucker Carlson famously posed the question, I think it was last year on his visit, how much do you think that it might cost to buy a guy like Albanese? He said, and Tucker said, I think it could be as little as the cost of a new Tesla. I actually disagree with Tucker because I think that you could buy him for the cost of a used Tesla.
Used Tesla, well, yeah, you can get those cheap. Now, you voluntarily exited talks with Netflix to have your documentary featured there. That's quite a big decision to make. You said it was a matter of principle because of some of the content they've been pushing lately. Just quickly tell me about that decision.
Okay. I mean, we've been in discussions with quite a few distributors, Netflix being one of them. And yes, it has become more obvious in recent weeks to me. I didn't realise just to the extent of the sexualised and politicised content that is on there. They're not the only ones that are guilty of it. And yes, there had been some conversations with quite high-level executive in the US. And I guess, Rita, honestly, it's come a time in my career where I feel like I have to put my values and beliefs before my career, and I've been guilty of doing the opposite for too long. And I draw a line when you start engaging children in adult conversations, and that's where it ends for me. So in terms of a release, now I don't know what the plan is because I wouldn't be surprised if people try to distance themselves for me for taking that position. But
no, that's a brave stance to take. Kane Guiglielmi, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks, Rita.